So this week in sports, we are now just days away from the start of NFL free agency, and I couldn't be happier. I'm on the record that as a Vikings fan that I'm personally all in on Kirk Cousins. And I am so exhausted from going back and forth with the super fans of Case Keenum, or as I call him, the Case Brigade. Half the fans want Case Keenum and the other half wants Kirk Cousins. And give or take 10% that wants Teddy Bridgewater as the outright starter going into next year. There's no sense in beating a dead horse here. Both sides have spoken their piece, and hopefully this will all be resolved by the end of next week. Now for the pro-Cousins camp, something to pay attention to is the Denver Broncos. After trading Aqib Talib to the LA Rams, the Denver Broncos cleared an additional $11 million in cap room on top of the $24 million they already had. They are very much in the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes. Still, if you want to win, and assuming money is equal, the Vikings all-around roster is better than the Broncos. I know Dalvin Cook is coming off an ACL tear. He's still better than every running back the Broncos have. And while you maybe make the argument that the receiving core of the Denver Broncos with Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas is not that far off from Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, the point is the receiving core of the Vikings is much younger. But the selling point for Vikings GM Rick Spielman would be to compare roads to divisional titles. Guess what, Kirk? Your worst divisional opponent in the NFC North is the Chicago Bears. Compare that to your worst divisional opponent in the AFC West, which is either Phillip Rivers and the Chargers or Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. And I wouldn't sleep on Oakland either. Derek Carr is still a talented quarterback, and now he's got John Gruden as his head coach. How is John Gruden doing anyway? Oh, that's right. He was at the Warriors game the other day with Patrick Starr. You see that right there? That is dedication from a head coach. He's already visiting his local NBA team. Has Mike Zimmer ever gone to see the Timberwolves? Why doesn't he go to Wolves games?
Has got it, 23, 8 of coming. Look away, Hartford, what a pass by Kyrie.
Oh, that's right. Well, now it makes sense. After missing the playoffs for 13 consecutive seasons, this year the T-Wolves were on pace to right all the wrongs of the past as they were the number 3 seed following the All-Star break. Then Jimmy Butler goes down and they've since fallen to the number 6 seed in the Western Conference. If they keep this up, there's a legit chance they'll miss the playoffs for the 14th straight year. And I tell you what, I'm not going to sit here and tolerate the disrespect and blame being directed towards former number 1 overall pick Andrew Wiggins. Okay, sure, he floats around, you forget he's on the court at times, and oftentimes he just stands at the 3-point line even though he's not a good 3-point shooter. And yes, when he gets the ball, you know you're not getting the ball back. But when it comes to defense, and I've been saying this forever now, if you want to be successful on D, the secret is to do as little as possible. You see that right there? That is textbook defense. I couldn't have drawn it up any better than that. Man, I should be a coach. Somebody pay me! And if you're Wolves owner Glenn Taylor, the best part is you've got your guy Andrew Wiggins locked up for another 5 years on a max contract. Oh yeah, $146.5 million. And sure, it's been reported that Coach Tom Thibodeau was open to the idea of trading Andrew Wiggins to the Chicago Bulls last summer, presumably instead of Zach LaVine. But Glenn Taylor did what any sports owner should do. He stepped in and he made a basketball decision to keep Andrew Wiggins off the trading block, vetoing the power of his front office. And after signing Wiggins to that max contract deal, Glenn Taylor released a statement saying, quote, Andrew is one of the best young players in the NBA, and he has the talent and work ethic to get even better and be a foundation for our franchise for many years. Wiggins and Taylor, man, y'all the real MVPs. Respect, bro. And last but not least, what's up with all this LeBron to Philly talk? Philly's got signs up trying to recruit LeBron to the Sixers. And while it sounds great on paper, did anyone actually think of what the on-court product would look like? Neither LeBron James or Ben Simmons can play off the ball. And I don't want to hear anything about how Houston's doing it with James Harden and Chris Paul. First of all, Harden started as a 2-guard, then moved to point last year. His flexibility is what makes this work. And then secondly, both Chris Paul and James Harden are perimeter threats offensively. That's not the case with Ben Simmons, so there would be next to no spacing on the floor. And have we not learned by now that the third guy in the big three is going to be forced to sacrifice touches and shots? And so what, you're going to transition Joel Embiid to what Chris Bosh was in Miami with Bron and Wade? A big that's a spot-up shooter? Man, get out of here. You've already got a great thing going with Embiid and Simmons, and you're only going to get better. You don't need LeBron.